My friend Chris and I enter a contest to be one of the very first people to play a new GameCube game coming out called Animal Crossing. We are
What?
one of the winners selected. We get the
What?
game 2 months early,
What?
along with a
Whoa.
calendar, a special letter. I was so hyped for this game, and the fact that we won and got to play it early was mind-blowing.
Hello, everyone. This is our Summer Sizzlin Spectacular Sausage Flip-O-Rama in Smell-O-Vision, sponsored by John Waters and Matt. But we do have a full
And
house here
hymns.
tonight.
And
Yes, and a little hymns on there as well, but crushed up and like blown on like a expensive restaurant. We got
It's a
Joe in the
glaze.
house, Dan's here, Brett's here, Justin's here, Matt's here, Dave's back. We got the whole crew back again, plus Dan in person this time as we continue down our lists of favorite video games of all time.
No hymns. It was flaccid.
Oh my.
I mean, would have benefited from some hymns.
Matt's number one is Leisure
If
Suit
you have a
Larry.
sausage tied to your flaccid penis, visit our sponsor, Hymns.
Oh, I thought he was just calling his top 5 games flaccid. Okay, we'll keep going here. Briefly, does anybody have anything that they have been up to lately that they want to plug? Not much here other than my dear company Funko is producing 26 limited edition 1 out of 1s of one hero from American history from each decade to celebrate our big anniversary, and they're putting all 26 of them up on Golden Auction House, and I'll never be able to smell one of them, but it's unfortunate because it's a bunch of really cool history figures that I would love to have in my collection. So,
If only you had smell-o-vision.
right? They do make a John Waters one, but
Gross.
Sure, they
it's
do.
got a little, like you can scratch part of them, I think. And
They-
anybody else have anything exciting?
I don't have anything to plug, but I want to share a real quick story. Today, Emily and I were talking about this podcast. She was asking who's on it, what are we talking about? And she's asking about like our listenership. And
Dave, put your microphone closer to your mouth.
is that better?
Yes.
In your
All right.
mouth, even.
Thank you. Sorry about that. Basically, Emily and I, my wife Emily and I, were talking about the podcast today, and how it's just a fun excuse to hang out with you guys. I offered the morbid comment that someday one of us will die, and then the others will be able to like listen back on the episodes and feel like they're hanging out with that friend again.
It's got dark.
Jesus.
She said it's a gift to the wives because the wives can listen back. And she said, and I said, will you listen to it now? And she said, no, fuck no, I'm not going to listen to it now, but I'll listen to it when you're dead.
Yeah, and
So-
I miss you when I need that
Wow.
flaccid dick talk.
So if anyone is listening to this after I'm dead, I love you very much, and I apologize for everything I've ever said on this podcast before this moment.
Well, I'll take this moment to say I regret fucking nothing. Wow.
I'm not going to need hymns when I'm listening to Dave's voice after he dies.
There it is.
You're still alive in my pants, buddy.
Oh.
If you want to be alive in the pants, here it is.
You dirty dogs.
I wanted to give a quick shout out to something which I actually talked to Dave and Dan about at the end of Man Weekend. I have, over the past 20 years or so, messed around with guitar, but never actually took any lessons or anything. And it has been something that I have proclaimed I was going to spend more time doing for the past, like, at least several years, and just kept putting it off and never did. But ever since Man Weekend, I have actually been using an online learning app called Pickup Music to do some virtual guitar lessons. And I'm doing
Nice.
it at least like 3 times a week, and it's been a lot of fun, and I'm excited to keep doing it. So if you have any hobbies or interests that you have been meaning to dedicate time to and keep kicking down the road, just make yourself sit down and start doing it, and you might just find yourself sticking with it.
That's fantastic.
Good. I'm glad to hear that.
Love it.
Yeah.
Anybody else have anything? If not, we can
Well,
proceed.
I'll mention what I've been up to is actually listening to the first two episodes of this podcast.
Yeah, you have.
Speaking of Dave talking about listenership, really enjoyable. Really enjoyed it. Looking forward to tonight, and I want to explain one of them.
Yes,
'Cause
please.
you mentioned Kung Fu Chaos, and
One of
I want to
them.
give the background on this because so it is. Someone mentioned it was a little bit Smash Brothers esque, so it definitely was that. It was like a 1 to 4 person little brawler that leaned really heavily into the theme of filming a kung fu movie from the 70s and all of the horrible racial stereotypes possible, including you actually had like a director character that was like commentating on the fight as it was happening, and all the levels a little bit unlike Smash, like they were all progressive in terms of like you were on a boat and the boat was going through a town and all of a sudden the town started to collapse as you fought and stuff like that. So it was really fun from that angle, but the real gem of Kung Fu Chaos was the fact that your entire fight was recorded, and at the very end, if you wanted to, you could watch it back with a 70s like film filter on and the director doing commentary on the fight. So you're sitting there like
Wow.
reliving the moments as you like threw your friends off and the director being like, I told him to do that.
That does sound cool.
It does.
Very cool. And what system was that on?
Xbox.
Xbox. Okay, cool. Thanks.
That and I listened to Dave crush this memory I had of playing Super Mario World with him.
Because it
This
never
golden
fucking
memory I had
happened.
of Dave, and he just
Never
threw it in
fucking
the garbage,
happened.
just plunk in the garbage. So,
I don't know
Uh,
which friend you're
It was
confusing
interesting to
with,
me
but it
because I
wasn't
didn't
me.
realize you guys were friends beforehand. I just assumed that you were someone who met Cody like after everything. And
Oh,
No, Dan and I
secret
have known each other
oranges.
since like third grade. So.
yes.
Or have you? Maybe not. I don't know. All right. Anybody have anything else interesting to plug or share? I guess I could further add we're recording this on my 16th anniversary tonight, so
Congratulations.
that's that. And
Congrats, you have a very
Been that
understanding
long?
wife.
she's letting me record a double podcast on a night, and that we are also packing to leave in the morning bright and early for our big summer vacation. So
I know Karen's not listening, but Karen, if you are, you don't have to make it to 17. You can just tap out anytime.
maybe the Zoom login issue was the indicator.
Maybe, yes.
could have been. Well, I'll tell you what I'm in the mood for. Kicking off number 15 of this episode
Let's do it.
with some black and white text-based adventures. We head to Matt. What do you got to kick us off tonight, Matt?
All right. So, probably to piss off a couple people.
I always assume these are going to piss people off.
Because I'm combining two things here.
You son of a bitch!
Did it again.
Yes,
As
there's
was
a
foretold
couple
in the
more of
prophecy.
these. It's okay. So I
You
played
said you
these
were out of
games,
these last time, I thought.
I played these back to back, and I don't separate them in my brain.
And he
The
doesn't
Ori-
even
it's
have the
the Ori
decency to be
games.
sucking off a pretzel rod this time.
It's
It's
the
early
Ori
in the
games,
For
night.
that.
Okay, so like, yeah, I could say that they're different games, but I played them as like one unit. So it's like, did I like the beginning or the end better? I don't know, but the Ori games are very beautiful, very fun, very Metroidvania, great story.
Wow.
Sound is amazing. I don't know if any of you have ever played them or not. I know
Always
I've
meant
recommended them. I've recommended them to Joe. I think Joe would enjoy the storytelling aspect in the Ori games. The beginning is, I don't know. It kind of reminds me of the beginning of the movie Up, like where it's just like the first like 10 minutes is just like this soul crushing thing.
Ooh.
But
Love
I'd
that.
recommend it greatly.
Wow, that's a good one to get kicked off
Yeah.
on, even though you cheated and did 2 for 1 again there.
There'll be a couple more like that, and fuck y'all ahead of time.
Son of a bitch! Rules mean nothing to you, god damn it.
They don't.
All
Become
right.
Anarchy.
Well, I will follow that up by truly pissing off some people, perhaps here, with my number 15 favorite game of all time, which most people would say is not a great game. This is
X-Men Legends.
Wii Sports.
I'm sorry. What?
Me?
That's
I
right.
like it. I like
Wii
it.
Sports, the pack-in game for the for the Wii. I almost said the Switch for the Wii.
It was a phenomenon.
It really was when it came out. Like, I
Absolutely.
just have a lot of good memories of this one. I played with a
You
lot
and
of
my grandma.
Yes, exactly right. That's actually who introduced me to it. So it was
If you want to make
fantastic.
some good memories with Dan's grandma, that's our sponsor is.
Give her a vibrating motion control. Anyway,
First game I was ever able to play with my dad since the Atari 2600. So
yeah, there you go.
It's a
It was
great
fun.
pick, honestly.
It came out like at a time when I was like low on friends, and it was actually a way that a lot of people were like, "Hey, I'll try this thing." Like I had people coming over to my place to play games that didn't even play video games, so it was kind of cool. I probably played bowling with like at least 20, 25 people, I bet. Different people, I mean, which is I don't even know that I can think of many games that's the case for anything other than maybe GoldenEye on ever. Yeah, so that's my number 15. Pretty fun one here. So
Bonus
Wii
points
Sports.
for any game that actually gets people up and moving around. So
right.
that's a
That
pretty
came
cool-
out just before Thanksgiving, and I went to like 3 Thanksgivings that year. I brought it to every single one of them, and every single person played it and enjoyed it. Like, what
Nice.
other
Wow.
video game could do that? You know, it's
Wow.
incredible.
completely non sequitur. Cody, you just created the best band name, Low on Friends.
Oh,
Amazing.
Oh,
it's actually the name of this podcast when you all abandon me. So
No, we're all dead.
oh,
Yeah, you're the last survivor.
I'll be replaced by AI at that point. So
Hudson's going to be the last man standing, and
Yeah, he is.
we'll all be a single entry on his list of favorite friends.
oh man. All right, Dan, hit us up in person.
All right. Well, I originally, as you alluded to, Cody, like I had this as kind of a double entry, and then I listened to the rules of the podcast, and I've since edited it. So I've taken it from StarCraft 1 and 2 just to StarCraft the first. So this RTS like blew the shit out of the water. Holy crap. What an amazing kind of sequel in terms of Blizzard already having Warcraft. And at first, I remember seeing the early screenshots of StarCraft and being like, it's Warcraft in space. What the hell? But they got that criticism. They got that feedback from some early builds, and they completely retooled the system into one of the first RTSs that had 3 different armies, 3 different factions that were all dramatically different, but somehow all balanced at the same time. This is a game that I not only played when it came out, I played years after, and ironically, my wife played this a little bit. So like when we first started dating, we actually played StarCraft together. It's pretty great. I have the honor of showing her her first Zerg Rush.
Hot.
And if you want a Zerg Rush, hint. So something that set up a great legacy, a great world. And as a side note, they actually just came out this year with a miniatures game. So you can actually play a tabletop StarCraft game with like little figures you move around.
Oh, weird.
Cool.
Good pick.
Yeah.
Good pick.
Let's see. Oh, I guess I'm next. All
There's
right.
no way that game in your background is still left on your list, right?
There's only one way to find out.
Oh, Jesus.
Keep
That is
listening.
the holding out for a hero of video games.
No, my number 15 is not what my background is right now. My number
Wait,
15.
isn't Joe next?
No.
We
Karen-
talked about this guy.
Karen, Cody's list is wrong.
All right. Sorry. I'll shut up then. Go ahead.
It's okay. All right.
I mean, he's next if one of them dies.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Okay, my number 15 is The Witness. It is a
Fuck yes.
first-person adventure game, sort of in the style of Myst, except you can walk around freely.
Justin loves MAGA.
Wait, what?
Jonathan Blow apparently is a MAGA now, which is like really sad and
Oh,
terrible.
That is pretty
Well,
on brand
before-
for him, but
before that, he made a
Oh,
great
wow.
game, and that game is The Witness. Came out in 2016, and yeah, it's built all around a certain type of puzzle. That puzzle is drawing lines to connect from point A to point B, which sounds really simple and really stupid, but it's actually, they do one hell of a lot with it, and to the point where there is a moment in this game that I wish I could forget and relive all over again, because once I just, yeah, Dave knows what I'm talking about.
100%.
Yep, because once I decided to try thinking outside the box and finding out that thinking outside the box actually worked, it was an unforgettable like moment in gaming for me, something that that will live fondly in my memories for like the rest of my life, just because it was downright magical. And I'm not going to say anything more than that, but The Witness is a fantastic game. It's very abstract, but it is worth just delving in and trying to, even if you don't figure out what the hell is actually going on, just experiencing it is well worth it. Fantastic game.
Beautiful.
No, it's interesting. It looks like 9 of my remaining games are sequels, but they are all individual entries because each game is its own thing, and you can't just lump every entry in a franchise together as if it was one long
There will
game.
be plenty of sequels that stand by themselves. They're games that I
Oh,
can...
so you can differentiate between.
Yes, I can. You will find out about it soon enough.
I can't wait to see the
My
final arc
number
of this.
15 actually is my Zoom background,
Oh.
which is Super Mario Brothers 3.
Nice.
I think this is probably still the best Super Mario Brothers game that was ever made. It was just like an insanely big deal when it came out. Cody, quit shaking your head.
No, I 100% agree with it.
It's probably top 5.
It was just a huge deal when it came out. It was like a huge leap forward. I mean, after Super Mario Brothers 2, which was not really a Mario Brothers game, as we all know, it added
better.
just like an insane amount of new features. The graphics were amazing for the time. I went to see the fucking Fred Savage movie, The Wizard, in a movie theater just to get an early look at it. And it was an amazing experience. I honestly just have a lot of nostalgia tied to this game. My grandpa was like always wanted to try to bond with his grandkids, so he like had multiple video game systems that we would always play when we went to visit him, and he bought a copy of the official Nintendo Power Strategy Guide for Super Mario Brothers 3 and made photocopies of it for each of his grandkids
Damn.
in like a binder with like a picture of Mario on the front. It was like a whole thing. Anyway, I have a lot of nostalgia for this game. It will probably always be my favorite in the at least you know, proper Super Mario Brothers franchise.
Fuck yes. That
It
was my
also,
16, so we're close.
it also introduced me to the concept of tanukis. Although sadly, Tanuki Mario does not have a giant ball sack.
Oh,
Can always dream.
That you know of.
Never made an appearance since
He's
then.
wearing
He should,
pants,
should,
so
should have come back
That's true.
at some point in time.
Yeah.
They
Pants
cannot
or
be
overalls?
contained. All right, so
Anyway.
number 15 for me. Oh, sorry. Okay.
Nope, it's you.
So back in 2019, a game called Slay the Spire came out, and you might think that that's my entry, but it's not. But it started a whole genre, a whole category of games that I love. It's basically like card-based, turn-based combat, roguelikes. So Slay the Spire, I really love Rogue Book. I love Griftlands. But I'm not here to claim a whole category. So the number 15 game for me is one that not a lot of people have heard of, I'm pretty sure. It's called Knock on the Coffin Lid. I've talked about it on this podcast before. It's a super fun card-based, turn-based roguelike where you are playing a time loop over and over again. There's 4 different maps that you're traveling around on, and there are events on those maps that you gain knowledge of as you go. So what happens at this spot in one playthrough is different than the next playthrough because you've learned something, you've gained something. There's so much to explore in this game. There's 3 different main characters you can be in, kind of like a somewhat secret fourth. There's a ton of content in this game, and even though it has its flaws, especially being buggy on the PlayStation 5 where I play it, I really love it. And of all the Slay the Spire clones, and I like a lot of them, that's the one that I love the most. So my number 15 is Knock on the Coffin Lid.
All right. Starting off my list today with a bang or a slap, perhaps, is GoldenEye for the N64. Already mentioned a couple of times here. This is just a wildly great game for getting friends together and just having a party. the solo campaign mode was very fun for its time, but we all know it was really the multiplayer that was the star of the show here. I feel like this was also like one of the first games I played that had like ridiculous feeling quirks. Like the fact that Oddjob was so short that you like literally couldn't see him on your screen if he was close enough to you. And things like the one-shot golden gun, which was like felt like a new idea in games like just what you're instantly dead. And the infinitely wild slappers only mode as well, which was just just great because you're not even using guns, you just run around slap each other. But it also had like great features like the remote mines. They could trigger from the other side of the map, and that kind of paired along with the fact that all four players were on the same screen at the same time, in quadrants on the screen. So literally, you could just peek at someone else's quadrant and know exactly where they were, unless you went so far as to like build a screen guard to hide everyone else's part of the screen, which I never did, but I certainly have seen pictures of that being done. But
yeah,
that's all I'm going to say about it. We've already talked about it a bunch, but this is just a great game all around. Just very fond memories.
I'd be curious to try it with that screen guard you're talking about there. Just I've seen the pictures too, but it definitely would have been a very different game if you couldn't see the other people's screens.
For the next weekend.
We can try to play it online.
There was a Star Trek game called Starfleet Academy where there was a dual thing with a split screen, and me and my friend, we actually hooked our Super NES up to two TVs and then blocked half the screen on each so we couldn't, specifically because there was cloaking.
Wow.
We wouldn't want to see where the other person was if they were cloaked.
You split the signal, you mean?
Yeah, we split the signal.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Wow. Good use.
I always thought someone could have done that with GoldenEye, but it would have been a lot more annoying.
Yeah, you get a quarter. I guess you only need a quarter anyway, but yeah.
But you need 4 TVs, so.
Sure.
I also used to love to play remote mines in the facility on the bathroom.
Yeah.
So if you started there, you just like blow it up. That was my favorite thing back in the day.
I love it. All right, 14. Matt, you're up again.
Wait, it's me again? Oh.
Yep.
All right. I am. My number 14 is Maniac Mansion, which might have been brought up.
Yes. I mentioned Day of the Tentacle, which is the sequel.
Oh, you mentioned Day of the Tentacle. That's right. That's why I said Day of the Tentacle is on my 2 playlist. Specifically, I mean, any of the ports will work, but I'm specifically talking about the NES one here. Because the music is amazing in that game as well, and it's not in there on the PC version. But like, I just always liked the idea that there were so many different ways you could win or end that game depending on who you picked. And I was always curious if there was a group of like that you could put together that couldn't actually win the game. I think you can win with any combination, but like there's certain ones that are certainly not as strong as other ones, I guess.
Agreed.
Like Jeff can fix the phone, but can't do everything else that Bernard can do, But anyway, I had so much fun with that, finding all the different endings and figuring out which character can actually microwave the hamster.
Oh.
It's Razor and Sid.
I think that's
the
right.
worst thing you could do with a hamster.
Yeah. Anyway, it's a great game. Point and click adventure if you didn't know, but there was a TV series which I was really excited about when it first came out. And then I realized that none of the kids were actually characters in the show. I'm like, where's Dave? Where's Bernard? None of them are there. And so I only ever watched one episode.
Well, Day of the Tentacle only has Bernard.
I know, he was my favorite too, so that's one of the reasons why I wanted to play it.
Okay, you totally should.
Yeah, no, I will someday.
All right. Okay, my number 14 is going back to the NES. Also for this one, Matt. Now ask yourself this. How many video games have you carved a jack-o'-lantern for?
2.
In my long history of fantastic jack-o'-lantern designs, Cobra Commander, Adam West is Batman, but there's another one on my list, which is King Hippo. That stands as a wonderful jack-o'-lantern design. This is Punch-Out for the NES coming in at my number 14.
Never heard of it.
Might be higher than I would have guessed. Maybe right about the spot. Maybe it could be a little lower than this, but just a really fun game with a really fun cast of characters. And I know it's one that a lot of the hosts and I have made jokes about or had memories playing over the years, or whether it's like even like a loose tie to the Rocky movies, like kind of that idea of the underdog boxer going up against all these other people. Another thing I really like about this game is I've never
It's
beaten
incredibly racist.
I've never beaten this game.
It is
I
pretty
know
racist.
I know I'll never beat this game, and I'm okay with that. This is all about like quick twitch reflexes, which I didn't have then and sure as hell don't have now. But I always liked that the game was a game that you knew or could tell how to win. Like it wasn't a mystery. You knew how to win for most of these fights you were in. It was just a matter of whether you were good enough to actually do it. And surprise, I was not good enough to actually do it. Never beaten Tyson. I don't think I've ever beat Super Macho Man. I've only beaten Sandman like 3 times. So I suck at this. But that's my number 14, Punch Out for the NES.
Has anybody else ever played it on emulation and found that they cannot play it worth at all? Like when I like hacked my Wii to play it and whatnot, there's just like a millisecond drag or something, and it's just like it makes it impossible for me to play.
I don't know. Spoiler alert. I play it on Switch Online pretty regularly still, and it feels the same as it always has to
That
me.
might be
at least in
because it's
that.
actually like, I don't know, official or something? Like,
I don't know.
there might be just
maybe
like
you're just playing a janky ass emulation.
Joe plays
I
it
don't
real
know.
life.
Get a
because he
better
has a
ROM.
coach.
like
It's
generally,
true.
you guys know that I'm better at playing on a keyboard. Even when I'm doing that on the computer, I cannot play emulated Punch Out. It's the only game I can't play.
Weird.
Weird.
Sorry, didn't mean to digress.
But thank you for introducing me to the phrase "hack my Wii." I will not forget that.
Is that another? Is that
If you
another
need someone to hack your
band name?
Wii, reach out to our sponsor, Hims.
That's if you want to hack your own Wii.
All right.
I guess you could slip it in somebody's drink at the bar, but
Yeah.
All right. For my number 14, we're going to stay in Super Nintendo land. I'm going to take you guys back in time to the year 1993, where we learned an important thing from Jeff Goldblum, which is when you gotta go, you gotta go. There's a little movie called Jurassic Park that came out that made a huge impact on my life, and then also appeared on like every platform. Under
Yeah, the
fucking
Genesis
sun.
one is way better than the SNES one. I'm just saying.
Well, I'm about to argue that. So I actually, my 14th pick is the Jurassic Park on the SNES.
Ooh.
And here's why. So you've got the top-down mode where you're Sam Neill running around shooting things. But as soon as you walk into a facility, you switch into this Doom-esque mode where you're fucking shooting raptors in first-person mode. So you got both of those in one game. And that's, like, I played a lot of the Game Boy version as well, but the first-person mode, which was only on the SNES, that's what let it out for me. But really, if I could have picked the entire set of Jurassic Park games, I would have included the Genesis and the Game Boy one in there as
The
well.
Sega CD one also rips.
Oh shit! I didn't even try that one.
It did have.
It is
sort of
completely
first-person sections.
different. Yeah.
Are they?
Are you serious?
You just kind of answered that question, but are they the same game?
No.
Different
Oh, no.
ports?
That's the weird thing. They're all completely different.
Back in those days.
The
Yeah.
Genesis one is a side scroller. The
Yeah.
SNES one, as Dan was saying, is like a top down view, but also with the first person.
Yeah.
The Sega CD one is actually like a point and click adventure.
Amazing.
There's some
Oh, that's right,
there's
I've
some
seen
like
that.
FMV in there. Like, oh, I
Wow.
love that game.
I remember renting that back in the day.
I
There you go.
owned it.
Oh,
That's
nice.
my number 14.
nice.
Okay. Brings it back to me, it looks like. Okay, my number 14 is a game that got a re-release a few years ago, and unlike most major consoles, and if you like RPGs, especially like old school computer style RPGs, I highly recommend checking out Planescape Torment. It was my first introduction to the Planescape setting in D&D, where it's sort of like it takes place in a city of doors, where each door a door can be like an archway, it could be like walking under a tree branch, whatever. But portals that lead anywhere. And you play as a character who seems to be immortal, but has lived so long that you've forgotten who you are. You wake up on like a slab in a morgue. You're greeted by a floating, talking skull, and from there on out, you're trying to discover who the heck you are, how you fit into this world, and it gives you at the time, I had never seen a game that gave you this much freedom. Like, there is one NPC that is like a bane of your existence for like a good chunk of the game, and there comes a point where I finally had the big confrontation with him and whatnot, and knockdown, drag out fight. I beat him to within an inch of his life, and all of a sudden the combat stops. He's like, wait, spare me, and I'll tell you what it is you want to know. Just don't kill me. Most games it would give you a binary choice. Like you could accept the agreement, or you can just press on and kill him. Planescape Torment lets you say you're going to spare his life, get the information, then kill him anyway if you wanted to. And I had never seen anything like that in a game in my entire life. And up until that point, it came out in 1999 originally, and that was just such a cool moment, and it's emblematic of how much freedom that game gives you. Just excellent game, fantastic characters, very, very deep world, and so many ways you can approach the story. Just highly, highly recommended. Planescape Torment.
Awesome.
My number 14 is a game that people are probably going to be angry is not higher on my list, because I would bet money it is pretty high on at least most of the other hosts' lists. It is a little ditty about Jackie Diane.
Oh.
Called Resident Evil 4.
Nice.
Dun-dun-dun.
Wait, Joe, but the V in the I, that's 6, not 4.
What? Oh, no. I felt like I was playing an action movie. It was incredible. There's like 20 characters, and
the
like
SNES version or the Sega version?
And like,
Was it side-scrolling or overhead?
I'm so sorry, you guys. Anyway, Resident Evil 4. I mean, I remember playing the original Resident Evil when it came out on the original PlayStation 30 years ago. Jesus Christ, we're all old. Resident Evil 4 really just completely reinvented the franchise, made it much more action focused, a little wackier perhaps in some ways, with the infamous merchant wondering what you're buying. Well, weird little Napoleon dude. Still managed to be kind of scary. But yeah, it's where did Dan go?
Have you played the remake at all?
I have not. I've been curious about it. Honestly, a little nervous that it might be more scary and less wacky. But I think that this just is kind of the shining pillar of the Resident Evil franchise. I played 7. I haven't played the last 2. I've heard they're all pretty good though. But it's always going to be 4 if I had to pick one entry in the franchise. It's thrilling, it's funny,
Can I ask you a question,
iconic.
Joe?
Yes.
Because I know that you are as anti-spider as I am anti-spider.
Yes.
Are there, like, I've never played 4, but are there not giant spiders in that one? Because I haven't managed to get through 2 since that manifested in myself.
I haven't played 4 in a long time. I don't remember. I mean,
I don't
certainly,
think so.
I don't think so.
yeah, I mean, if there are,
Sure.
It certainly is not to the same extent
I was
as
playing
the
2
earlier
like
games.
a few years ago, and I went back down to the sewers. I saw the legs there, and I'm like, no, I can't.
9 has a giant spider.
I was going to say, stay far away from 9.
Maybe I'm not going to play 9 then. Damn it.
Yeah, that is an entire sequence. That
Yeah,
fight.
the only way I could play Skyrim was with a mod that turned all the giant spiders into polar bears.
Oh, you didn't pick Thomas the Tank Engine?
Thomas the Tank Engine, yes.
Anyway,
Amazing.
RE4, who's next?
All right. So, the year 1997, the place, whatever Texas city Dan Murphy lived in 1997. Fort Worth. This guy had an N64, and it was the first time I got my hands on an N64. And we previously, in the last episode, Dan had mentioned Mario 64, and I shared that trip. But also on that trip, he showed me the best rare game ever made. And it's not GoldenEye, and it's not Perfect Dark. Sorry for you other guys who have that on your list. But for
Conker's
me,
Bad Fur Day.
it's Blast Core. Blast Core is the best rareware
Fuck
game
yes.
ever made. It's incredible. You're just driving around in these machines trying to destroy stuff before a bomb will destroy stuff, because it's better if you destroy it than if the bomb destroys it. And it's just the flimsiest premise, but it's so fun. Some of the machines are really fun and easy to use, and some of them are like impossibly difficult to use, which is also really fun. And it's just got all these challenges, and every time you think the game is over, it's like, no, you're going to the moon. What do you think? What are you talking about? The game is over. Oh no, you got to fly around a lava volcano, but like don't touch the lava or you're fucked. And it's just, I've been playing this game ever since. Like I play this game once a year, probably.
Wow.
And I absolutely love it. So thank you, Dan, for introducing me to Blast Core.
Fuck yes. Well done.
It's definitely one that I remember being quirky fun.
Yeah. That's a fun one.
So at my number 14, I knew I needed to put a Grand Theft Auto on my list somewhere. And for me, what I'm going with is Vice City here at 14. While GTA 4 is probably objectively better in most ways, I definitely have more fond memories about Vice City, just due to the great setting and like the incredible soundtrack it had with it. I just really I love driving around and just like listening to the radio stations. And GTA games have always kind of, certainly held down like the borderline of like what's acceptable in gaming. And like every time they kind of like push it a little farther. But it was, I think it was the Vice City games, probably starting with like 3, was like the first game that made me think, wow, I'm being so naughty right now. But it's like, especially as like a teenager, it's like, oh my God, I'm committing crimes. This is great. So that's just the games they were. But there's certainly something to be said about what Grand Theft Auto as a franchise has done to the gaming youth of America. But it still just was very fun to play. And like Vice City specifically, I can still remember a lot of the map. Like I remember driving around and like there's a turn here and there's a turn there and there's this building here. A lot of that is just, it's still like probably forever implanted in my brain somewhere. So that's at 14, Vice City.
Awesome.
Great choice.
Which GTA had hot coffee? Was it Vice City?
That was 3.
3.
That was 3, yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of naughty.
Cody played about 90% of the way through Grand Theft Auto 3 on my PS2 and then corrupted the save because he ignored the warnings to not turn it off while it's saving. And then he fucking did it all over again.
That's why he only plays Nintendo systems.
That's what it was. It's the real hot coffee mod. Still
All right,
on the
Matt, back
system.
to you.
Matt,
Back to
13. Lucky 13.
All right. So just to show Joe that I can do this.
What? Whip it out, big
Actually,
boy.
one game from a franchise instead of an entire franchise. Actually, it's one Cody just sort of picked, but I went with Super Punch-Out,
Nice.
which
Boo.
I think was a bit smoother than Punch-Out.
Boo, it's garbage.
It's also, I remember in his dorm room, when he lived with another friend of mine, a couple friends of mine actually, I managed to play through that game with a 16-0 record, which I'm still quite proud of.
Crazy.
Again, bizarrely, maybe it's just that series of games, but I tried again playing it through on my Wii, on the homebrew channel that I have installed. But I was able to get through the first 2 circuits, but like the timing is just off just so minusculely that I just can't.
Maybe you're just getting older.
In the original Punch-Out, I when I would play through it normally, I would get to the first hard enemy for me was Soda, for sure. But on the lag, whatever, if I play it on emulation, I cannot beat Soda. Not a chance. But with Super, I made it. I couldn't beat the first guy in the world circuit. I don't know why, but in response to what you're saying, yeah, every character in that is stereotypical. But to be fair, they at least stereotypicalized, stereotyped their own people as well. So I don't know that. I don't know that necessarily helps, but whatever. I'll be playing any of those games probably till it could have been any of them from the series, but I think I had the most fun with Super.
They're all solid. All solid. Okay.
Nice.
My
Cody.
13 is a game that has been mentioned already on some other people's countdown. So I think this is its third vote, if I'm not mistaken. It's Dokapon Kingdom.
Yeah.
Coming in at number 13 for the Wii, which I describe as great team atmosphere until it isn't. Lots of fun secrets in this game that were really, really hard to find. Like you could even look them up and still work for days trying to get some of those stupid conditions to come true. It can really derail your game. The games themselves are a lot of fun, but I mean, they take a really, really long time. So if you're going to play it with 3 or 4 people, you really got to have people committed to scheduling enough time to get this done. There's a little sense of like each turn you don't quite know what's going to happen, but you kind of have a good idea. But it's basically, a good RPG meets a board game meets Mario Party, and it's a ton of fun. Any age could play this for the most part. It's really high on my countdown, but my biggest critique, I would say, of the game that doesn't get it higher is I do think the game has a little bit of I forget the exact term in board gaming now, but it basically whoever's in the lead, I think, tends to get further into the lead the more you play the game, which is a little bit of a problem I have with it. Somebody can run away with it a little bit, and everybody else can try to catch up from there. But super fun, really enjoyed this one. Yeah, just a kind of a dark horse one, but we got it on 3 people's lists already, so there we go.
I like the fact that it's on multiple lists. It is a great game, but I would like to point out the elephant in the room, the reason why I stopped playing it, why I can no longer enjoy it. And that's because the random is set ahead of time. Doesn't matter when you press the button, you always get the same result every time. You can save the game, go back to it, and you get the exact same results.
So what?
Something about that just hit me the wrong way.
I'd have to go back and test it, but I think they changed that in the re-release that came out a year or 2 ago. I think it is more fully random now.
Well,
I
then
could
let's
be wrong,
fucking get it on again. Can we play this shit online?
Oh shit!
I don't know.
You can play it online.
Yeah,
Amazing.
if you have a
True
Switch,
to
it's
Bizarre.
Dokapon Kingdom Connect. It's meant to be. You can play it online. That's
All right.
the Connect
Well,
part.
I'm gonna test that, and if it's truly random, I'm ready to go.
Next podcast will be 70 hours long.
I feel like I need to play this game sometime. I never have.
Oh, yeah, it is fun.
I mean, we
It
could
is
do
very
it.
fun.
You could literally do it as a man weekend, and it would be the entire weekend.
It
And
would.
you would not even be halfway done.
For sure.
Amazing.
It's a commitment.
Mhm.
All right. Well, it's on
Playing
the
D&D.
list.
Yeah.
Justin, Dan.
I think I am next. So for my number 13, this is the second in a series that actually Joe referenced before, and I will admit it was really tough choosing between the first and the second, but I actually did go with the second, and that is Halo 2. No colon, just straight up Halo 2. This was one of the few games that like took the original and just amped it up in a perfect way. I have almost no criticisms of this game. I think it did everything it needed to in terms of expanding the universe, the capabilities of the game, a lot more fighting, really great storyline. I really actually, it was a weird twist, but in the story in Halo 2, you actually flip and you get to be one of the aliens for a few levels and kind of get like the opposite perspective and kind of have that understanding. I think it deepened the lore to this incredible degree. I still have fond memories of just watching some of those first levels where the Covenant's coming to Earth and you're on one of the space stations and you have to like defend the line. He's returning. I'm returning their bomb to them. It still rings out very strongly for me. And I will mention the story for me for Halo 2 was getting it on like the midnight reserve from GameStop. Me and a friend from college, Jason, had to drive out. We had to check in at GameStop before they closed regular hours before like the midnight opening to get the game. So we had a couple hours to kill in some random city in Wisconsin. We drove to the movie theater that was on the other side of the parking lot, bought 2 tickets to Team America World Police.
Oh, Jesus.
Where
yeah.
the cashier literally picked up her little walkie-talkie and said, like, yeah, go ahead and start the movie. People actually bought tickets. And it's the only time I've ever been in a theater, just me and my friend. That was it. So we literally got up. We started MST3King this movie. We were running up and down the aisles. So it was that. And then all of a sudden getting to get Halo 2. And I played it until 4 in the morning. I remember. And then one of my other roommates had to wake me up 3 hours later for a lab. So fantastic time, fantastic game.
Nice, nice. Let's see. My number 13 also involves aliens. It is XCOM: Enemy Unknown. Not XCOM 2, not the expanded version of this one, just straight up vanilla XCOM: Enemy Unknown. It is a comfort game for me. Like something about it, just starting from scratch, naming all the troops like after like friends and family and whatnot, and just having everyone go up against impossible odds, and trying to save the world from just the basic alien invaders that were expanded upon in later entries. It's just, I don't know, there's something pure and just very well tuned about the original. It's a great tactical RPG. It will screw you. You want to talk about RNG screwing you over? You can have like a 95% chance to hit something and still miss. But no, that's part of the experience. XCOM: Enemy Unknown is just it's a game that I will come back to time and time again if I'm ever just in need of something that's familiar and yet still engaging. Fantastic game.
Excellent series too.
Yes, yeah. But you'll notice I picked one.
True. My number 13 is Tetris. That's all I have to say. No. I felt like this game had to be on my list somewhere. A dedicated video game podcast that I listen to regularly has dubbed Tetris objectively the greatest video game of all time, and I think it's hard to argue against that. It was ubiquitous in its day. It is almost certainly the game I have played the most iterations of across the most platforms. I was just looking, and it is at least one of the games that has appeared on the most platforms in video game history, possibly tied with Doom. I feel like this game was probably like fundamental to all of our relationships with video games early on. Especially the Game Boy version, like who did not spend hours, playing that game, trying to see who among their friends could get the high score. It was just a formative experience for me, and I feel like probably for all of us. So again, just felt like Tetris had to be in there somewhere, and right around the halfway point feels like a good spot for it.
It's really not an experience unless you've seen Dave do it inside a wagon.
All right.
I get it.
Halloween party.
Come to Halloween. All right, number 13. The year 2002. The place, Marquette, Michigan.
Oh.
My friend Chris and I enter a contest to be one of the very first people to play a new GameCube game coming out called Animal Crossing.
What?
We are one of the winners selected.
What?
We get the game 2 months early.
What?
Along with a calendar, a special letter. I was so hyped for this game, and the fact that we won and got to play it early was mind-blowing. It was so fun. I love the game to this day. And then later I sold that early copy of the game, plus a calendar, plus a little letter for $3,000. So thank you, Animal Crossing.
What?
Wow.
Damn.
Nice.
It worked
What?
out very well.
What made the like the box and the game itself different? Did it look different? Or I mean,
Literally, the disc said not for resale on it.
Ah.
That's the difference. There's nothing different
And then
in
you
the
resold it.
Yeah.
There's nothing
The monster.
there's nothing different in the game code. But the calendar was exclusive, as was this letter shown in my background here, and I had an additional letter that I don't think anyone else seemed to have kept, that made it kind of unique. So my friend Chris still has his. He's holding on to it for the both of us. And it was a great experience. I really loved that game to this day.
how many people won?
It was 50 pairs, so 100 people
Oh.
total.
Wow.
You had to enter it in pair, and you had to enter 50 words or less why you should do it. And I came up with some haikus because I thought that would make us stand out. And it worked.
Damn.
And
Nice.
it was fantastic.
That's awesome.
And then Cody got a really terrible, cringy picture of me holding up the Animal Crossing disc when I got it. And he still loves to show that to anyone who asks.
Whip it out, Cody. Come
I'll see if I
on.
can find it. All right, I'll see if I can find it.
That's an awesome story. At number 13, I have Minecraft, which holds a really kind of interesting place in that it feels like a very retro game, but it's actually only 17 years old. Like I've literally told people like recently, I was like, this game's like 25 years old and they still have things they haven't fixed from release. And it's not that old. It's really not. But also like I only just got into it like 4 or so years ago, really because my kids wanted to play it. But like I quickly realized that like I enjoyed it myself. It's just something truly great about the early stages of Minecraft. You're loading in a new world with just like literal infinite possibilities. You know, are you going to be in a grassland biome, a forest, a mountaintop? Are you going to build an underground base? Are you going to build a mountaintop chateau, an epic tree house? Like literally anything you want to do, you can do eventually, if you want to. It's just I love that feeling of exploration and discovery. And I just also really just love survival type games in general. Just the idea of starting with literally nothing most of the time. Especially in Minecraft, you have nothing. You have to go around punching trees to get some lumber to start your journey off with. And I just love that kind of building from nothing into something really grand and special. I honestly have to agree that like there's definitely things in Minecraft that are really kind of sucky. Like there's like the combat can really stink at times. The fighting skeletons is the most annoying thing I've ever done in gaming, I think. But there's even with things like that, like the highs are so high that it makes up for it for me. And I love playing with some of the kids. This is something that we all just enjoy together, just creating something cool and just all coming up with ideas. And that's why it's so far up here at number 13 for me.
Awesome.
Cool.
Love it. All right.
Back to me.
Number 12, Matt, kick us off.
All right.
Things are getting serious.
So there's several games that I could point to in my childhood that really just like focused my love of video games, and a lot of them have spawned massive franchises, but I got to point to like the first one because it really solidified like those concepts of what a game could be like, I guess. And in this next entry, I really could have picked 2. I could have picked 3. I could have picked 2 or 3. But I'm going to just stick with the first one because it was the first one I played, even though I don't think it's necessarily the best in the series. I don't even know if it's my favorite, but I just picked the first one anyway, and that's Mega Man.
Oh.
All right.
Mega
2
Man
and 3 are
1.
probably better games, for sure. 3 is probably the most important to me because it was the first game I ever bought with my own money. But I played for the first one first, and just the idea that the stages can be played in any order, and you get the weapon from the robot master when you defeat him. Like something about that just sort of jived with me at the time. Um, so yeah, Mega Man.
Respect that series. Respect that series. I was never
Nice.
great at it, but definitely
Oh,
respect.
Surprised it's not a
I
movie.
don't think I've beaten the original Mega Man, and if I have, I
The
had
first one's hard, man.
I had to use the select trick to do it. 2 I've beaten, 3 I've beaten for sure. I don't think I've ever beaten the first one without using the select trick.
Mm-hmm. All right. My number 12. Gonna make
But I
somebody.
have beaten Elect Man without dying, with only the pea shooter. That is a proud moment for me.
You have beta that?
Elect Man with just the pea shooter.
You have beta Elecman?
Yes,
Beat that.
I have beat. Sorry,
Is
Cody.
that
I didn't mean
before or
to.
after you hacked your Wii?
Oh, goodness. All
No one's
right.
gonna know what that means, but when I'm dead, it will cause tears.
Oh, boy. Jesus Christ.
I just realized my microphone was muted. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
What's with all this mortality talk?
I didn't know this was a survival podcast here. Okay.
Yeah, really.
Also, I just realized you didn't hear my if you want to be proud of your pea shooter. Those are sponsor hymns.
Not the first time you said it, but we got it.
I'm glad you looped back around to it. That was totally worth it.
All right. Speaking of hymns jokes, my number 12 introduced the concept of Crimson Heads into the world, which is Resident Evil, the remake for GameCube.
If you have a crimson head, you should probably see a doctor.
Or gasoline works just as well, as it turns out.
Cody, those were blister heads.
No, they were Crimson Heads. In the first one, they were Crimson Heads.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, you're right.
This one was fantastic. This was kind of like I had never really played the first one. I played a little bit of it on a friend's PlayStation, but I didn't really get into it. Resident Evil 2 was kind of where I launched into this. So when they redid the first game for the GameCube, just loved it. I mean, it was so fun that this is all of the games in this series, and I could have put probably more on my list than I did, but just the concept of having the big creepy mansion or the police station or whatever the setting was, and just going around and exploring and finding items and doing puzzles and all of the stuff. But this one looked a lot better. The graphics were a lot better. Looked very polished, kind of like graphical upgrade, almost kind of like reminds me of when they did Donkey Kong Country out of nowhere, and you were like, wait, they could do that with the graphics? Like, that's a little shinier than what we're used to with some of the other stuff here. But really just super fun. The series was always great, but this one had the Crimson Heads, as mentioned, which you either had to blow their head off when you killed them or have enough gasoline that you could burn the bodies when you left them there. Otherwise, the next time you came down the hallway, they would be back meaner than ever. And it got a lot scarier to go down those hallways than it was prior to that in these games. So
It was already pretty scary to go down those hallways.
yeah, it was.
It's true.
Lots of spiders. Just kidding.
Ugh.
Resident Evil 1 GameCube. To Dan.
All right. Well, I'm surprised you didn't mention the dogs. The dogs is actually always the element that got me in those games.
Ah.
All right. Well, speaking of nostalgia and going back, Dave was the first one who got me hooked on the card flopping phenomenon all the way back with Magic the Gathering. And I have been a sucker for collectible card games and playing card games ever since. So when one of my favorite game companies was like, we're going to do a digital card game, I was like, oh shit, someone put peanut butter in my chocolate. And that game is Hearthstone over at Blizzard. I got into the beta of this game. It has been truly it has had ups and downs, but overall it is something that I can always open up, play a couple games really quickly if I have a couple moments. I know, Brett, you were talking about just getting a couple minutes of Sea of Thieves in. Hearthstone is kind of like one of my versions of that, of just being able to open it up. I also love the fact that they are very frequently playing with the concept of like, it's a card game, but it's digital, so we can do all this wacky shit. Like there was a card in there where you literally like, while you're playing, open a pack of cards, and like all of a sudden all those cards from the pack go into your deck and you get to play with that. And I Tuesday they had a new set that came out, and one of the cards I got was you get half as many cards in your deck to start, but you actually steal half your opponent's deck, like a copy of it,
Oh God!
So like every time you play, you're like, well, what the fuck did you bring to the table? Now I'm going to throw it back at you. So the fact that they're constantly twisting and playing with stuff like that is really, really great for someone who's been playing card games for far too long. Now to see this kind of digital twist on it, it's really excellent.
Nice, nice. It seems like Dan and I are developing an odd little synergy as we go along here because both of our last ones involve aliens, and my number 12 is also a Blizzard game. So not the same one, but Overwatch came out in 2016. Really started the hero shooter phenomenon that is very, very much oversaturated at this point, but they have since butchered the game and then tried to bring it back, but it's really not the same anymore. Well, they released a quote unquote sequel, which didn't add much of anything new and kind of ruined a lot of the stuff that made the original good.
Completely killed the original game. They were like, you cannot play the original version, period.
That's like, such a dick move.
There was literally a date where they're like, that's it. Fuck off. If you like the old one, it's all the new one.
Yep, yeah, and now instead of like just grinding away to get these limited time skins and whatnot, you actually have to pay money. There's no loot boxes anymore where you might get lucky and and win one, which I had most of the skins I wanted because I think I mentioned in one of the earlier episodes, my wife and I sunk like 400 or 500 hours into this game before it got taken offline. But those 400 or 500 hours were some really good times. I mean, you could just jump in, you could play with randos, you could still have fun. Sometimes they didn't know what they were doing, but if that was the case, oh well, a match lasts like 10 minutes. You could just jump right back in and try again. And there were enough characters that if we didn't know what we wanted to do for dinner, we had like a restaurant assigned to each character, and we would just like play a match, and whichever character ended up getting play of the game, that would determine where we ate for dinner. It was fantastic.
That's awesome.
I'm so impressed by that.
Thank you. I missed that. Yeah. But yeah, it was a great game. It isn't anymore, but for a span of a few years, it was hard to beat. So my number 12, OG Overwatch.
Well done. I did want to add the detail into this that so it is a first-person shooter. Every single character has different like abilities and even different weapons. But one of the things that made it really fascinating is that there were different types of heroes and different types of characters that actually matched up with like your traditional RPG characters. There literally were tanks, DPS classes, and healers. And the fact, and like you were talking about your wife playing, my wife played too, in terms of like, oh, I can be a healer in this game. I can just run around and heal people. That was an amazing selling point. And we actually had like another couple we play a bunch of games with. They played as well. So we almost had like our own little squad playing. And it was really easy to be like, oh, they have a new healer character coming out. Don't you want to play some more? Until Overwatch 2 happened, in which it literally shit the bed.
Yep. Rip. But yeah, that was mine. So
Joe.
My number 12. All right. So one of the things I did when I was preparing for this podcast, making my list, was look at my Steam library and the games that I have spent the most hours playing on Steam. My number 12 is a game that apparently was my 5th most played game on Steam. I was kind of surprised to see that I had only spent 70 hours on it. But then I realized that that was the Game of the Year edition of this, and the vanilla version of the game was my number 7 most played game, which I had 60 hours on. So that's 130 hours. But I originally played this game on the PlayStation 3, in which I almost certainly put at least an additional 100 hours into it because I played through it a couple times on that console. My number 12 game is The Elder Scrolls, drumroll, 5: Skyrim.
Oh, there we go.
None of the other ones were on PlayStation 3, so I knew which one you were going to say.
Oblivion was.
Yeah, Oblivion
was only on Xbox, wasn't it?
They ported it over. When we do our
quick
break,
nerds, look it up.
Oblivion.
All right, Justin wins. Justin wins. I didn't know they ever reported that.
Well, maybe we'll talk about that game later. Let's find out. Skyrim was, Jesus Christ, the last entry as of now in the Elder Scrolls franchise. Famously came out on 11/11/11.
Oh.
So it has fully been almost 15 years since the last game in the franchise.
It's almost old enough to drive.
Um, I love Bethesda's action RPGs. Will we see more of them on my list? Yes, we will. Uh, I mean, Skyrim was a long-awaited follow-up in this. I mean, not as long-awaited as its sequel, if it ever comes out. But it was bigger, I believe, than Oblivion. It was just like this huge, huge open world. So many quests to do. I just had obviously hundreds of hours worth of fun just exploring this world. I have finished the main quest line. I don't even know how many times at this point. Probably done at least the vast majority of the side quests. It's fun, trying different player builds. I This is just my favorite kind of video game. Like it's just super immersive. You can just get lost in this world, and I had a grand old time doing that. Fusoda.
Oh, I was gonna ask what your dragon call was, and you did it. Well done.
The year 2020, the plague, quarantine. When Animal Crossing New Horizons was on its way, I had played all the Animal Crossing games. By the way, this is me doing an anti-mat and putting two different games in the same series right next to each other, filling two different entries.
It's going to at least happen one more time, almost for sure.
Will you be the only one to do that, Dave? Probably not.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that you will, if you don't do what he's doing, Joe, I will be very surprised. You'll be really annoyed with me at least once.
I told my wife that this game would be a hit for the whole family, and she didn't believe me. But then I was right, and it was the four of us, my wife and two daughters. We all were playing the hell out of this game during COVID. There were weekends where there was at any given time someone was playing it, like at all times. And it was just a really excellent family experience that came at just the right time. It certainly has its flaws. The multiplayer aspect is pretty weak. Like we rarely played it together, even though we were often sitting watching each other. Like it doesn't really add much to put in additional players, and that would have been really nice. But we all had our little village, our little island that we were living on, and had a great time with it. And that's like a very, very fond memory of that era that I keep. And then later that Halloween, I carved an Animal Crossing pumpkin just to fulfill Cody's earlier prophecy.
Nice.
It's great. I have a really similar story in terms I didn't even have a Switch, but COVID happened, and that was one of the things we like seeked out just to get Animal Crossing, and that like kind of like calm, lower stress like set of activities that like just helped the family get through that whole situation.
Excellent.
Number 12 for me. I was just realizing as I was looking at this is the oldest game on my list.
Oh, fun.
This came out in 1990 on the Sega Genesis. It is Phantasy Star 2, which I've seen it labeled as a science fantasy RPG, which is kind of a unique category, I believe. The plot revolves around a government agent who is tasked with finding out why the mechanical protector of the planet has gone haywire. Gameplay-wise, it's really not unlike other early Final Fantasy games. You have a team of up to 8 total characters you can recruit. It's a top-down world with dungeons and other random monster encounters along the way. But it has an interesting mix of kind of theming with the world being like somewhat futuristic. You have weapons that range from like swords to laser rifles to magic spells. And really enjoyable music that I remember pretty clearly. And like the sound effects were just great. Like I can hear like all the weapon sounds like in my head if I think about them. Just really kind of just stuck in my brain. And the characters were actually like really well developed, I feel, for the time period. It had a good dialogue, and you felt like you got to know them and got invested with the characters, like and their welfare. And the ending of the game actually was really pretty tragic. It was like kind of It was something that I remembered at the time. I was like, whoa, that's holy cow, that's different. And there's just really something about this game that just really kind of captured my imagination and that has like just stayed with me for 35 years. So that's when when I get a chance, I probably would try and play it again, despite it being 36 years old at this point.
Yeah. Quality.
Matt, that's you.
Oh, back to me.
Okay, you got one more
Nice.
shot for this podcast episode. What you going with there, Matt?
Okay, so this one is kind of hard to
Pick
nail,
just
You want to be
one.
hard hymns.
to nail down because there's so many damn iterations of it. Um, and they've all been fun. I mean, in some of the newer ones, I like the roster, but the gameplay, I like the older ones. I so hard to pick, but the series is Smash Brothers. For the actual game, I half this and one, half that of the other. Doesn't really matter, but I'm like none of them are fucking perfect because like I said, the new ones have the roster I want, but I think that the control in Melee has not been surpassed. Like everything past Melee, like the control is annoying to me because like there's a little thing you want to pick up and you're right next to it and you just nudge over to go a little bit over to grab it and you dash past the fucking thing. And then someone else picks it up and throws it at you. That never happened in Melee. So you know what? I'm fucking picking Melee. Despite the fact that there's characters that I would really like to play as that are in later games, I will go with Melee. That's probably the one I played the most. Earlier in a previous episode, I said that some friends would always come over and me play Mario Golf Toadstool Tour. It was kind of in rotation with Smash Melee at the time, so we'd play both of those games.
Yep.
I got more angry at Melee.
Oh, Melee it's a great version. Absolutely. We'll stick with the Mario theme here for my number 11. I have I guess I did have a Mario Kart and a Smash Brothers already in this list, but this is my first and maybe only question mark mainstream Mario game, which is Super Mario 64. Dan, there you go. This was just like when the 64 came out and popped this bad boy in and just 30 seconds it took supposedly to run from the start point to the castle front door. Like I could get lost in that courtyard for like an hour just running around, like climbing trees upside down and back flipping off and like getting to the top of the tree and like humping it with that animation. And,
I mean, before you even get to that, when you are stretching Mario's face,
true,
the loading
true.
screen, fucking amazing.
Much later, they were like, "That'd be a fun Mario Party game. Let's just do that thing again. Recycle our own idea." No, but like just Mario running around in 3D was like kind of mind blowing when I just started to play it, and it was a really well done game with like all the I don't know were they stars? I guess there were stars in that game too, correct?
Yes.
That you were collecting.
Stars.
But there was like so many per stage, and then there was like I think like 15 secret stars in the castle you could find, and those were a lot of fun to try to figure out like what else could I do to get a star out of this castle, find some secret stages here and there. Just a lot of variety built in, and just a really really fun game. And then there was the like Easter egg on top of the castle at the end of the game if you've got everything too, which was just kind of a fun little thing too. So that's my number 11, last one for this pod, Super Mario 64.
Plus, how many other games you get to throw Bowser like a bitch?
That's true.
Smash Brothers.
You can
Well,
throw
fair.
throw Bowser like a bitch, but you can't catch that one damn rabbit.
Damn it. All right. Well, I'm gonna break from the Mario theme here and instead go over to another platform, a platform that I didn't even own to play this game. I had to like camp out at my friend's house to play this. I've since bought a PlayStation 1 to finish this some more. And Dave, you can hold your criticism because the game I'm talking about here is Final Fantasy number 7. I'm not talking about the remake because I have thoughts about that. I'm talking about the original super polygonal, but like all these CG animated sequences. like and 3 goddamn discs of content. That was a beast of a game, and a beast of a game that took twists and turns in ways I had no idea, including, here's a spoiler for a 30-year-old game.
No,
The death of a major character.
you son of a bitch.
I had no idea. I was not ready for that, and I still sometimes scream out that, like, fuckers, Aerith died, and none of you are accounting for it.
You didn't have to say the character's name.
I did, because she died.
If you don't know
Say
that,
her name.
then then it's one of our wives after we've died, and that's fine.
Go.
Well, now I definitely don't need to play it. Okay, great.
I'll plant my Buster Sword and defend that one.
If you want to bust your sword, just look at some pictures of Tifa Lockhart.
I've never managed to get through 7.
Oh,
Because he keeps busting his sword.
Once you get out of Midgar, I lose interest for some reason. I don't know.
Oh, there's
then
so
you'll
much.
love the first installment of the remake because it's all in Midgar.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm
that's
not
true.
going to play the remake probably, but I will finish 7 on my PlayStation Mini. It is on my to-do list.
Nice.
Okay.
Justin, last pick. What you going with?
All right. This is another game that I'm sure I sunk hundreds of hours into, including many over a dial-up modem that I'm sure frustrated my parents more than I realized. Back when I was a teenager. My number 11 is Diablo 2. Came out in 2000. And the first game, it really kind of introduced me to the world of action RPGs. I sunk a lot of time into that one too. Diablo 2 was just that, but more. And before they decided to do like the stupid shit they did with like 4 with the level scaling and whatever the hell was going on with 3. No, Diablo 2 is just a classic dungeon crawling hack and slash experience. Like you had 5 in the initial release, there were 5 different character types you could choose from and different ways you could build them. Like I remember at one point I decided, I wonder if you can do a necromancer run without having any minions to summon and just like focus on the spells that do damage and curse people, and you can. And it's just a matter of there was so much you could experiment with, and just the random loot drops were just that dopamine hit that kept you coming back over and over again, wondering if you're going to get like a unique item or that one rune that you needed to slot into something else you were using to make it more powerful. Just a fantastic game, and I've sunk easily hundreds of hours into it over the years, and it is just it holds up. It's a little more rough these days with the dated graphics and whatnot, but it is still a very fun game to load up and play and just lose yourself in for a while. So my number 11, Diablo 2.
That's what Eminem was singing about.
I would actually like his music if he sang about stuff like that.
That's what it was.
Yeah, he did the Venom song. That's close.
Touche.
Guys, sometimes you have to be able to separate the art from the artist. Sometimes you fall completely in love with a video game, only 2 years later learn that its creator is apparently a filthy maggot.
Happens.
Qbert.
The same filthy maggot who created one of Justin's previous games on the list, but not, in fact, that same game.
Oh, his
My
only
number
other
11
game.
is his only other game, which is Braid. This is one of the most beautiful video games I have ever played, both in terms of the graphics and the music, and the way that the plot or lack thereof is conveyed. The gameplay itself is original. At first glance, it's, kind of inspired by the Mario games in terms of its setup, platforming setup, and their enemies that are obviously like kind of inspired by Goombas. But this game has a twist, or it has a few twists, but it puts a twist on the traditional Mario style gameplay by letting you play with time in different ways. Um, the puzzles in this game can be pretty difficult to figure out, but they're rewarding once you get there. And man, what happens at the end of this game just kind of gut punched me when I got there the first time. Even though the, straightforward plot is kind of sparsely conveyed, I feel like there is an emotional truth to it that really hits you at the end. And also there are possible other deeper interpretations that people have found over the years. But anyway, I love this game. It's beautiful in many ways. And if you have not played it, it's out on like every platform, so give it a whirl.
Who created that game?
Jonathan Blow.
And if you want Joe Blow or a different name, insert here with hymns.
Hey.
All right. Dave, what do you got?
The year. Just kidding. The late 90s, the place, my parents' basement. I don't know. There's a time where basically the Super Nintendo and Genesis era I completely missed out on. I wasn't a console gamer during that time. I was a PC gamer during that time. And I just noticed that looking through my list, there are no Super Nintendo or Genesis games on the entire list, even in my honorable mentions, as kind of a result of that. But I was a big PC gamer, and I've already talked about Duke Nukem 3D. I've already talked about Day of the Tentacle. But my favorite game from that era, basically representing an entire Sierra phase that I went through, for me is Hero's Quest, later known as Quest for Glory, so as not to be sued by Parker Brothers over Hero Quest, the board game. Anyway, this is an RPG where you're an adventurer. You arrive in a town. You announce to everyone that you're an adventurer. They don't give a fuck, but you do eventually save the day. This is just a point-and-click adventure. Actually, I played the text parser version first, but then later they had a point-and-click kind of remake of it. And it's part of a series that I really loved, number 1, and then I loved number 4, and not much in between or after that. But that was a very, very meaningful game for me at the time. It was a great RPG. It was not my first RPG. We'll get to that one in just a little bit. But I really loved Hero's Quest. And I regret in college selling my disc copy of it. With the box and the manual and everything. I wish I hadn't, but that's okay.
Who'd you sell it to? We can find him.
It's just somebody online. Nah, go find them, beat them up, get it back.
Give me a name. I'll do it.
It was me.
It'd be funny if you sold it to the person that beat Super Mario World with Dan.
Or the person who bought the Animal Crossing from Dave.
Yeah, there you go. All right, Brett, finish it up for us.
All right. Last game of this episode is Call of Duty Warzone, which is their Battle Royale installment. Following my experience playing Fortnite, which was the first Battle Royale I played, I was really kind of hooked on the genre. Just the idea of like one man standing at the end, like a little Battle Royale. It really was like a true test of gamer skill and like resourcefulness and perseverance against other real players. It wasn't, this is one of the first, one of the earlier online games that I played, like a PvP game. It just, that idea just really caught me up, and I love the challenge and the intensity of it, being in an end game with like 10 players left and knowing you got a chance to win it. And so when I was introduced to Warzone, I had to give it a try because I just loved battle royales. And it's also free to play. That was a big selling point as well, or a non-selling point. And yeah, it's just being a Call of Duty game. It's kind of like it's more realistic, and it's that kind of appealed to me as well. But Warzone also has a feature of that, as the more you play, like you can level up your weapons. And like gain perks and things like that. So like literally the more you play, you can gain advantages over other players. Whereas in other Battle Royale games, typically everyone goes in on equal footing. And so that really kind of appealed to me as well, because I can build this gun to be just amazing, and I'll just go in and just dominate. And there actually was a point where statistically I was in the top 10% of all Warzone players.
Oh shit.
As far as
Jeez.
like kill to death ratio and like wins and like all that kind of combined together. I had no idea where I sit now because I haven't played the game in over a year, but it is the game where like I can not play it for a year and then I'll start getting that itch and I'm like, gotta get back in Warzone. And then I'll just be like hardcore in it for like a few months and just really enjoy it and just like max out the battle pass for that season or whatever. But I played most of it solo. It was great, but I've also played with friends in a squad, and that I've had some really truly great memories playing that. So,
And if you want to hardcore hit it for a few months.
A few months, damn. Those pills have really gotten
call
good.
your doctor if you last a few months.
That's literally in the disclaimer at the bottom. Oh my goodness!
I didn't know we had so many celebs on this podcast. I mean, Dave being one of like 100 to win that early thing and Brett being in the top 10%.
Yeah, wow.
Oh my
Dan
gosh!
being someone who still plays Hearthstone. Wow.
Fuck you. There's dozens of us.
We won't leave so they can shut the server down. Oh boy. All right, that is episode 3 of our Sizzlin Sausage Summer Countdown. We'll come back with episode 4 here for you guys coming up next week, I believe. But until then, that's Matt and Dan and Justin and Joe and Dave and Brett, and I've been Cody, and this has been the Fawn Pod, friends occasionally not disagreeing, counting down our favorite all-time video games. Thanks a lot, everybody. Take care.
bye.
Thanks, everyone.
See you next time.